So it's that times 2. Lord, I am terrible at explaining things. Oh my gosh. I don't know what that was, but hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you guys that are new, hi, welcome. My name is Destiny Lachelle. I'm a public health major at Xavier, not that that's really important, but today I'm going to be talking to you about how to finance your Xavier education. Oof, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really hungry right now, so my motivation to get through this video is to go and get Chick-fil-A. So with that in mind, we're going to get started. So the first thing I want to warn you guys, and I mean this is for any college universally, yeah, that's a word. Okay. Whenever you see the words cost of attendance, ignore it. That is not what you will pay, okay? It's a no-no. It's not what you will pay. As an undergraduate, as a graduate student, whoever, as a student at a college, you're required to pay for 3 things: tuition, fees, and then room and board. Now at Xavier specifically, they so graciously group room and board into one charge, which I will get into later. So no matter your major at Xavier, whether you come in as biology pre-med, chemistry pre-pharm, if you're an arts major, you're history, philosophy, mass communication, criminal justice, whatever your major is, you will all pay the same base price. Excuse my hand, I'm scrolling. I have my laptop right here with me. I'm fact checking. I'm currently looking at the page on offices. I'm currently looking at the Xavier Fiscal tuition page. You can actually go and Google it. Just type in XULA, XULA Fiscal Tuition, and this will pop up. And the charges that they have listed here are for this current school year, the 2017-2018 school year. So, tuition per semester, full-time student, 12 to 18 credit hours. No matter your major, as an undergraduate. All right, it's $10,606, and that's per semester. So I put this in my calculator, multiply by 2 because there are semesters in an there are semesters. Of course there are semesters. There are 2 semesters in an academic school year, and you get $21,212. This is tuition alone. And so I'm gonna scroll because they have College of Pharmacy and then graduate programs listed on here as well. Okay, so now I am at room and board for freshmen only. Okay, so whether you're a boy that's going to be staying in the mics or a girl that's going to be staying in KD, they're going to charge you $4,392. That's the base charge for a 2-student room. You will be placed in a room with a roommate going into Xavier, okay? And that's the cost for that. And like I said, that's cost per semester. So if you go and add that times 2 to the cost of the tuition for the entire year, you get Lord. You get $29,996. So this is what, well, these are not the fees. All right, so this price that you get right here, this $29,996 is tuition and room and board. So we have one more component left, which is your mandatory fees. Okay, so you have a housing fee of $25 per semester, so we can add $50. And then there's a laundry fee of $40 per semester, so you can add $80. And I'm not sure, I should have mentioned it in the tours of the dorm, but laundry is essentially free. You can wash and dry as many loads as you want, but they are going to charge you this $40 fee per semester. All right, so up next, we have your ID card fee, which is $10 per semester, so add $20. We have a yearbook fee, which is $25, but it's one charge only. It's one semester only. So maybe they're only going to charge it to you one semester, or maybe it's one semester per year since the yearbook comes out every year. I'm not sure, but just to be safe, I'm going to add just $25. All right, so the next listed charge is the student health insurance. So sometime in July, maybe June-ish, you guys should be receiving a link from the Office of Admissions about opting out of student health insurance if you guys have health insurance. If you do, please be sure to go and fill out your health insurance exemption form. Have your parents fill that out, because if you don't, they will charge you this $14.20 charge. I'm sorry, my thoughts are everywhere right now, but they will charge you that. So please make sure you go through and you fill out an exemption and let them know that you do have health insurance. So we can skip that. The student activity fee per semester is $75. So times 2, that'll be $150. Let's see. We have an A&S information technology fee per semester. So per semester. So for full-time students, it's $400. For part-time students, it's $200. I'm assuming that we're all full-time students. So like I said, it's per semester. It's $400. So we're going to add $800. All right, and then next we have the new student / the freshman orientation fee, which is $150. All right, so now we're at $31,271, and we're not done just yet. But we're almost there, y'all. I promise, we're almost there. So, let's see, up last, we have lab fees. So if you are coming in biology pre-med major, be prepared to have 2 additional lab fees. Lab fees are all $66 for the College of Arts and Science, and then for pharmacy. And then for mass communications, it's $10. I'm not sure how mass communications and labs works, because I'm not a mass comm major. I came in pre-med and now I'm public health. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. But if you guys are, you know, biology pre-med, chemistry pre-med, psych pre-med, whatever, and you know that you want to go to medical school, be prepared to have 2 $66 lab fees added to your fee. One for, well actually, 2 per semester. One for biolab, second one for chem lab. Like I said, 2 per semester. So if you want to add that in, it'd be 66 times 4. For pre-pharm, I know you guys take chem lab. I'm not quite sure. I don't think they make y'all take biology, but I mean, I feel like the only people that should be taking labs are the people in the sciences. So I mean, if you're majoring in physics, chemistry, biology, pre-med, regular, ACS, whatever, you will have at least 1 lab fee in your semester, your billing thing. The number that I'm looking at is the number from before, $31,271. This is the amount that you are guaranteed you have to pay. Now, there are multiple different ways that you can pay for college. So the first one, and what I feel would be the most difficult for me to explain, is going to be loans. So there are 2 types of loans that you can take out. There are public loans, and then there are private loans. So let's focus on the private loans first. So private loans are not ones that you get from the government. Private loans are loans that you get from different agencies. Like, I think Sally Mae, I can't think of any loan providers. You can get private loans from like your bank. Like, private loans are loans that are not given by the government, basically. And the thing that you have to look out for when you take out private loans is APR. Now, APR is your annual percentage rate, or the amount of interest that your loan will accrue every month, every year, that the entire thing is not paid off. Now, let me stop right here. If there are any adults that are watching this, if I do have my information incorrect, please feel free to correct me, because I'm just 19. I don't have it all figured out. I'm just trying to help as much as I possibly can. So if you are going to take out a private loan, make sure you look for loans that have the lowest annual percentage rate. Because say for instance, you try to take out a loan for the full, let's say you try to take out a loan for $32,000 to cover everything, all right? And say for instance, your APR is 10.6%. So if you multiply that by $32,000, you get $3,392. That is how much interest will accrue per year. That's how much interest will be added to the amount that you have borrowed per year for every year that the loan is not completely paid off. So high APRs get you in trouble because they're high interest, and then the second thing would be whenever you do graduate, you get a job, it's time for you to start paying off that loan. You will have higher monthly payments. All right, and please, if you have to go and take out a private loan, make sure you do your research on all the different loan companies. Look at the annual percentage rates. Look at all of that before you don't just jump into something, because I really don't want y'all to get into a hole, because student loan debt is real. Like, the older I get, the more I realize that student loan debt is not to play with. So if you can avoid private loans at all, please do, and try to stick with public. But if you do have to go with private loans, make sure you tread lightly and make smart decisions as far as that. And so the other type of loan is public loans. And so within public loans, there are two different types. You have your subsidized loans. Now these loans are the ones that collect interest, but the government pays the interest while you're in school. That is what you would want most of your loans to be comprised of, subsidized loans. And then you have unsubsidized. These are loans that the interest accrues while you're in school, and you're required to pay the interest on these loans So there is a maximum amount of federal loans that a person can take out per school academic year, depending on your undergraduate standing. So since most of you that have requested this video are freshmen, I'm going to talk about freshmen. So first year freshmen, you have anywhere between 0 and 29 credit hours. All right, if you are dependent, meaning that you live with your parents, you live with a guardian, whoever, and they claim you on your taxes, the most amount of federal student loans that you can take out is $5,500. And only a maximum of $3,500 can be subsidized, the interest is paid by the government. Oop, high five. All right, if you are dependent, you're living with your parents, they're claiming you on the taxes, and they try to take out a plus loan for you. Now, a plus loan is a federal student loan that parents take out for their kids. I'm not sure if it's subsidized or unsubsidized, I will say that, but it is a federal student loan that parents can take out in order to fund their kids at undergraduate college expenses. And the maximum that can be taken out is the maximum cost of attendance. So the cost that nobody pays is the max amount that the federal government will allow your parents to take out for you. So, like I was saying, if you are an undergraduate, you're dependent, and your parents were denied for that loan for the max cost of attendance, then the max amount of student loans that you can take out is $9,500, but still, only $3,500 can be subsidized. Only $3,500 is eligible to have the interest paid by the government. Everything else is on you at that point. And then if you're independent, you're living on your own, maybe you were kicked out, you decide to move out, whatever the case may be, you have your own house, you're paying your own rent, you're independent, only you claim yourself on your taxes, the same thing. The max amount of student loans that you can take out for that year is $9,500, and only $3,500 can be subsidized. All right, so number 2, the second thing that you could use to pay for college is money that you receive from the federal government. Not student loans, but from your FAFSA. Make sure you guys submit your FAFSA as early as possible, because money is given really on a first come first served basis. Not saying that they will run out of money, but the earlier you apply, the better the chance there is for you to get the money that you need. So as far as that goes, everything is in a tier system of how much money your parents make if you are dependent. If you're independent on your own, that's something that you would really have to discuss with like your admissions counselors or your guidance counselors at your school, because they have more information than I do. But for the sake of this video, assuming that you are dependent, you live with your parents, like I said, the amount of money that you will get from the federal government depends on how much your parents make. If you're in a bubble like myself, where, you know, they say your parents make too much money, but in actuality they don't, and you don't get any money from the federal government, then you kind of have to rely on outside sources, which I will get into next. But if fortunately you are able to receive money from the federal government, you can receive things like Pell Grant. For Louisiana residents, and specifically you can get Louisiana Go grants. All of these different types of grants and things of that nature come specifically from FAFSA. Now another thing that you can use is work study. Now work study is calculated based on your FAFSA, but Xavier has to offer that to you in your financial aid packet. If work study is not offered to you, there is a slim to none chance that you will actually receive it. But if it is offered to you, you have the ability to either accept it or deny it. Now please note that if you do deny it, there is you're gonna have some fun trying to get it back, honestly. The next thing, and the thing that everybody tells you to go after, is scholarships. And first we're going to talk about Xavier specific scholarships. So I'm looking at the website. They're getting all fancy on me. So for Xavier funded scholarships and grants, there are there's 6 requirements. So the first thing is a 3.3 GPA, that's the minimum. Second would be a 22 ACT, or for those of y'all that take the SAT, an 1140. Now I'm not sure if that's new SAT, old SAT, it just says SAT. You have to have your FAFSA on file by May 1st. And then the housing department and the enrollment departments have to have your information by May 1st. Now, real quick, I'm going to read for y'all the scholarships for new first-time freshmen, initial eligibility requirements. Lord. Okay, so I'm looking at the website. It says, Xavier University of Louisiana seeks to recognize outstanding academic achievement through the scholarship awards process. When making scholarship awards, the university uses a holistic assessment of a student's completed admissions application. While all submitted information is considered during our scholarship review process, strongest consideration is given to the student's academic record, so your ACT scores and your GPA. Primary consideration is given to those students who have submitted a completed application by January 1st. So the application on, what is it? I forgot the name of the thing, but the actual application for Xavier is what they're saying. Students who submit a completed application after January 31st will be considered for scholarships on a funds available basis. Students who have met the January 31st deadline will be notified no later than the end of February if they have received a scholarship. Acceptance of a scholarship offer must occur by the deadline date indicated in the scholarship awards packet. Okay, now as far as Xavier specific scholarships, I'm not going to get into athletic scholarships because I know nothing about that, but I can talk to y'all about the academic scholarships. So there are 5 different types. So these numbers that I'm about to throw at y'all are based on what I remember when I was looking at this stuff back in May. So there are academic scholarships. Typically the amount is around $15,000. The ACT score range, I think, was like 23, 24, maybe even 25 to receive the academic scholarships. All right, next we have the Norman T. Francis Scholarship. Now this is for valedictorians and salutatorians from public high schools in both Jefferson and Orleans Parish. So you have to provide proof that you went to school in these parishes and that you are a valedictorian. And from what I remember, they receive full tuition and maybe mandatory fees. Maybe. I'm not sure how much of that will have changed because they don't have the numbers on the website like they used to, but bear with me. All right, so next we have the St. Catherine Drexel Scholarship. Now this scholarship is for valedictorians and salutatorians, just as the last one, but it's from students that graduate from any U.S. Catholic high school. And I believe it's covers tuition and mandatory fees as well. And real quick, let me throw this out here real quick, that the 3 scholarships that I have named, tuition, whatever it may be that you will be receiving from these scholarships, they cover 8 consecutive semesters. So if for whatever reason you end up at Xavier for a 9th semester, meaning you went 4 years and then you have to do an extra semester, you have to cover that yourself. They only cover 4 years straight through. All right, so the next one is the presidential scholarship. From what I know, you need a minimum of a 26 ACT to receive it. So 26 and 27 ACT score, you get the presidential scholarship, and that's full tuition and fees. And then lastly, you have the Board of Trustees scholarship. This is the full shebang, full ride, tuition, fees, room and board. 28 ACT or higher, you will receive this. Now, from what I've heard from a couple of my friends, I do know people that have this scholarship. I'm not sure how it works. Like, some people met the ACT score requirement for it, but only got full tuition and maybe just the fees. Or some people got all 3. Or some people only got full tuition because of what they had available. So please be sure that you apply as soon as possible so that you can get the max amount of money. All right, so we talked about loans, whether that be private or federal. We talked about FAFSA, getting grants and stuff like that from the government. And we've talked about scholarships, internal scholarships from Xavier. So the next thing I want to talk to y'all about is external scholarships. So there are many different avenues that you can go through to obtain external scholarships. But I'm telling y'all, do not get caught in the hype of, oh, $20,000 scholarship for 4 years. Or no, like the big scholarships, do not go for them, for the simple fact people will see the dollar signs and they will be drawn to this scholarship. Therefore, competition will be extremely hard. My best advice that I can give you guys, especially since I didn't receive any external scholarships, look for scholarships within your community, within your hometown. I wouldn't necessarily say within the state, because I mean some states have millions and millions of people, but look in your community. The application pool will be smaller, there will be less competition, and there will be a greater amount of people applying for the scholarship. And also, when applying for external scholarships, y'all, go for the small $500 ones. Like, I understand, you're looking at this money. Xavier costs $31,000 a year. How is $500 going to help me? Those little bitty scholarships add up. Like, personally, before I decided that I was going to go to Xavier, I was actually in the process of trying to go to Spelman. And I remember I was in this group chat with, it was like all of us that had been accepted basically. And there were a couple girls, I remember, they didn't get any money from Spelman specifically, but they got so many of these $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 scholarships that they were able to pay for their tuition just like that. They might have had 27 of them, but hey, look, at the end of the day, the pennies add up. Okay, I think this is the last one. So this is for my Louisiana residents in specific. Yes, Xavier does accept TOPS. That was like, woo-hoo, Xavier accepts TOPS. But please know that this comes with limitations. So I'm going to scroll over here. Please bear with me in my scrolling. But for this year and specifically, Louisiana residents that are eligible for TOPS have received $5,718 from the government. That's for the entire year. So split into 2 semesters, that's $2,859. Now I know that with TOPS, depending on what level of TOPS you have, comes the different stipends. Please know that if you're going to Xavier, you're not getting that stipend. That stipend is going straight towards your tuition. I'm sorry, like I hate to break it to y'all, but it's the truth. Your stipend is going towards your tuition. So if you receive TOPS honors, you have an $800 stipend split into 2 semesters, that's $400 per semester. If you receive TOPS performance, that's a $400 stipend split into 2 semesters, $200 per semester. Okay, so just to reiterate everything I said, when it comes to paying for college, tuition, fees, room and board, at Xavier, the room and board price is split into one. So, and just to go back on that, Xavier does have 2 different meal plans. There's the 15 meal plan where you can eat 15 meals in the caf per week, and then I think you get 500 flex bucks to spend at the 3 different restaurants that we have on campus: Jasmine's, Sub Connection, and Flambeau's. And then there's a 19 meal plan where you get 19 meals per week, but you can only swipe once each meal period. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, Monday through Friday, and then brunch and dinner on the weekends. And then with that one, you get 50 flex bucks to spend at Jasmine's, Sub Connection, or Flambeau's. The price is the same for both of them, which is great. So you don't have to worry about, oh, if you want more meals, you have to pay more money. No, the price is the same. So make sure you're aware of that. As far as housing, let me go back to the housing page. I'm so hungry, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand. I had a donut this morning. I'm starving like Marvin. Like I was saying earlier, when you come in, they are going to put you with a roommate. If you are like me and you don't want a roommate, no offense to the people that do want a roommate, if you don't want a roommate, please make sure at least by the end of move out weekend, for girls specifically, that you go and talk to Miss Perkins. She is the dorm director of KD. For the mics, I know the man's name, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but make sure you go to your dorm director. They should have consolidation slips. You make sure you tell them that you want a single room. Please be aware that you may not get your single room. It's all about how much space is available. They will wait until everybody moves in, until the housing office has everything situated with everybody who submitted an application on time. They will make sure that, you know, say the people that submitted their housing application late and are on the waiting list, if there is space, they will put those people in first. After all of that is done, if there is space left, they will assign you a single room. Now here's how that goes. As far as the money, if you live in Katy, if you're a girl, you're in Katy, instead of paying $4,392, you will pay $5,562. So it's just an extra $1,100-ish. I could do the math for y'all real quick. Let me see. It's an extra $1,170. And for the mics, make sure you do the same thing. It shall be an extra $948 that you will be charged. I'm not sure if they'll let you keep the single the entire year. I think they go on a semester by semester basis. But I mean, honestly, I recommend that you have a roommate for a semester just to see what it's like. Honestly, it's one of those things that I'm most grateful for, because it really taught me a lot about myself and a lot about my living situation. I think that everybody should have a roommate for at least a semester, just to try it out, just to see how it is, because I mean, when you get married, you're gonna be living with somebody else. Like, I don't know, I feel like everybody should have that experience of having to share a room with somebody else, especially for people like me that have had their own room their entire life. Just try it for a semester. Make sure you guys, when you get the email in July, June, whenever, about health insurance, make sure you have your parents fill out your exemption fee if they do have health insurance for you. If you don't, please be prepared to see that $1,400 charge on your account. When you get here, as quick as you can. I mean, they'll have a financial aid seminar type thing for y'all during new student orientation, which is great. Make sure you take notes, because I did not last semester and I do not remember anything they said but this one thing about scholarships. If you receive any type of, and I mean, as far as scholarships go, I don't want y'all to feel discouraged. Like, I honestly feel like everybody at Xavier receives some type of money, whether that be through an academic scholarship. Xavier might give you a housing stipend that might pay for your entire housing, or they might give you $2,000 for this. But I mean, just make sure you keep in contact with them. And the person that you do need to contact is Miss Pearl. Now I'm about to give y'all her email address. It's PALAL GERE@xula.edu. I'll put this across the screen. She is the assistant director of scholarships. Make sure you call her. Now, I remember one thing that they were telling us is that whenever, as far as scholarships go, like in your application process, you do not apply for scholarships. Like I was saying, if you meet the certain criteria, you get it. But as far as any other scholarships, Xavier will receive, say they receive like 10 scholarships, and the scholarship people, donors, say they want, you know, the student to have at least a 2.75 GPA to be this major. Like, they can make up whatever requirements that they want. But what the scholarship people will do is they have a database. They will put the scholarship in, they will put in the requirements, and then from there the database will match you to the scholarships. So make sure you call them and ask them if they have any available scholarships, because they can match you to one. You don't have to worry about, you know, applying to extra. They will match you to them. What else? Refund checks. As far as that goes, as soon as you possibly can. If you don't have a bank account, go and get yourself a bank account. When you get to Xavier in the fall, there's a sheet that you'll have to go and fill out. Make sure you put your bank account information, your account number, your routing number, all that. Tell them which account you want the money to go to. And they will deposit your refund, if you have one, in your account as it is available. If you are a Louisiana resident like I am and you receive TOPS, don't expect a refund until maybe late October, the fall semester, and then after Mardi Gras. Well, I can't say after Mardi Gras because y'all know Mardi Gras can come at any time in February, but late February, early March, because they will be waiting on TOPS, because TOPS, it takes the time coming. So like I said, if you're a Louisiana resident, don't expect a refund until late October, late February, early March. And make sure you go and fill out your direct deposit slip for them to directly deposit your refund into your bank account, and make sure you have a bank account. Other than that though, I really think that's it. Oh, okay. Another thing about Xavier. So we have ID cards, which I mentioned in the fees. You use your ID for everything. You use your ID to swipe into the cafeteria to go and eat. You use your ID to swipe at the different restaurants because your flex bucks are on your ID. You also use your ID to swipe into class. Make sure you are actively swiping into class once you do get here, because if they see that you aren't swiping, your swiping is for financial aid purposes only, and they have to send a record of that every day, like to the federal government. If they see that you aren't swiping, your financial aid from the government, your student loan, all that will get taken away, because it's like, we're giving you this money to go to school and you're not going to school, let's cut it off, basically. So make sure you swipe. Make sure you keep up with your ID. I feel like I'm getting into mommy mode. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions, you can contact financial aid directly. Their email address is finaid, FINAID, @xula.edu. And their phone number is 504-520-7835. So I do think that is it from me. If there's any question that you may have, or anything that you feel like I didn't address, please feel free to leave it down in the comments below. If you don't want to leave a comment, you can contact me on social media, whether that be through Twitter, through Snapchat, or if you want to email me, I can give you my email and we can keep in touch like that. But yeah, y'all, that is it. I will also make sure I leave the links to the pages where I've been getting my information, just in case that y'all want to go back and fact check. But yeah, I think that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun filming it. I'm so hungry. Your girl is about to go run to Chick-fil-A and happily spend $6.84. And it's sad that I know exactly how much I'm about to spend. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.